welcome to this late night reading. I'm gonna try and see if this will burn for me. I don't know. It's inside this glass container, so it's kind of going out, but I don't have a different holder for it to try at the moment. Anyway, I was flipping the calendar and saw this fantastic in the Farmer's Almanac calendar here about the hurricane names or tropical storm names. However, tropical cyclone names. There we go. For the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and North Atlantic. Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, Josephine, Kyle. Who's seen South Park? Leah, Marco, Nana. My Nana's coming to get you. Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally. You know, both Renee and Sally can be male or female names. Teddy. We had a Teddy Roosevelt president, right? Vicky and Wilfred. Wilfred Brimley is the only Wilfred I can personally think of. Not that I actually know Wilfred Brimley. And I'm not just making those names up. I did read those off the list here. And it is officially June 2nd. And I thought maybe this should just be a reading for the June birthdays. Why not? So I'm going to work on that today. Okay. Yeah, this was the quote from yesterday that I read off in the earlier reading. The be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. All right. So we are going to continue on here. This is the What's the Vibe deck, okay? So, which is kind of fun. Has some fun cards in it, I think. So I figured this would be good for a birthday, like June birthdays. Obviously Gemini's in that mix currently, but definitely for June, so we shall see what comes out, okay? And I think because it is, that season of the water, the ocean jasper, let's go ahead and pull that out here. So we have that with us for this reading. Running, escape, denial, excuses. At first I thought that was like R2-D2. Or it almost looks like a red light on, you know what I mean? That could be a sign too for somebody that maybe if you are running, to stop running, okay? But this says escape, denial, excuses. This doesn't have to be you necessarily. This could be somebody around you, but take it how it resonates, right? Love affair. Oh my, oh my. Dirty little secret. Getting a romance fix and down low. So, somebody collective could have wanted this with you, like testing the waters to see if you would go for it, and you're like, no Kyle, no Sally, actually no. You know what I mean? Like, and then what? Are they gonna get mad about it? Like they're gonna I'm gonna turn your life upside down, and like, just go away. You know what I mean? Go dissipate like, tropical storm Henri. You know what I mean? He's like, I thought about getting mad about it, and then I decided it wasn't worth it. There's some creator on YouTube, and the shorts are so funny. It's like a comedian comedy skit, but it's about living in the Netherlands. And it is so funny because I tend to have more of that sense of humor, and so does some of the family that I was raised around. You know what I mean? Where it's just more dry and understated, right? So I really get a chuckle out of those, okay? But, what's not understated is trying to make you an affair partner. Like, that's called doing too much. Especially if they're going to try and hide you from this, that, and the other person. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, we're not going on Dateline NBC here. You know? It's like, I don't even want to be on that show Cheaters. You guys ever see that on the CW? The show Cheaters? Oh my god. Anyway, got some doozies. Suffering in silence, unspoken desires, real feelings, broken dreams. So, yeah, this could be somebody who was in a commitment already. Sorry, I mean, obviously, so some of y'all might be single or have an ex or something, or there's just something where um somebody else wasn't able to seal the deal type thing, but they're not happy where they're at. Okay, so they could be running in escape denial excuses. And the thing is, you might be getting this message because they might be trying to bump into you. You know what I mean? And the reading I had earlier today was literally just about people that haven't gotten over somebody from 5, 10, sometimes literally decades ago. You know what I mean? Whereas, the healthy thing to do is to heal and, process what you need to process, and then, maybe try again if that's, something that you wish to pursue in this stage of your life, right? For everybody, it's different. Okay. So I feel like this person saying that they're trapped in something. Okay, stagnant, stuck, dead end, frozen. Okay, so they feel like they're in a stagnant relationship. Sometimes people say that, and then I say, well, what are you doing about it? You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, well, what's their effort? Sipping, rumors, gossip, nosy. So this person could just want to, like, get nosy with you. You know what I mean? To, like, because they don't want to be at home type thing. Okay, so, yeah, and you could be puzzled. They could be puzzled why you're not, like, and this could be something where, like, maybe you used to see this person more in social settings, but you don't, and it's like they're missing you. But it's like they're reaching out in a way where it's like, yeah, that's borderline. You know what I mean? And part of what they're doing it for is because they're having problems. They need to be running to a therapist. Okay. So don't feel like you have to, um, you know, like, bumper guard this person to a strike. Do you understand? You know what I mean? Like at the bowling alley. Like, they're not a little child. They're grown. You know what I mean? And some people don't want to, accept the inevitable. And part of that is that time will go by, and we're all just sitting here sipping at a certain point. Hey, stay on one. He's good at that. He likes to lay where he wants to lay. Like, oh my heavens. Okay, so collective, especially for those of you that are maybe single, especially if this person knows that you're single, that's kind of, and it doesn't have to be that you're single. I mean, there's a lot of partner people that get approached, in ways where people are like, yeah, not doing that. And, and there's little inferences, or people will make a joke and it's like, yeah, that's not really a joke. But, if you say anything about it, then, they can twist that reaction, right? And say, like, oh, I wasn't insinuating that. Or they'll be like, yeah, hey, so you want to go for that, So, like, don't feel like you have to respond. Okay, so this could be the part of the suffering in silence that you're experiencing where you're like, I just can't say anything right now. But yes, you know what I mean? In terms of that's the situation. So let this be confirmation for you as well, right? Yeah, Broken Dreams here. You ever hear that song? Is that by Twisted Sister? Um, Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Okay. Let go. Make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. Okay. So you might, if you do bump into this person, you might advise them that they, kind of let go of the past and just, try and move forward, the best way that they can, right? Ooh, wow. Yeah, look, Mercury retrograde. Electronic issues, communication issues, review, everything. So, yeah, especially if this is something where you might end up being around this person, like professionally or something, you're like, wait a second. Because you know how they're going to be, right? And it's like I didn't sign up for that. Oh my, look at that. DIVORCE, Tammy Wynette, where are you at? Experiencing a breakup. So, again, they could be approaching you and say, "Oh, I'm going through a tough time." Oh, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. And you're like, and again, you could tell them like, well, maybe you need to go talk to the priest. Maybe you need to go see a counselor through your work or something. Like maybe you know what I mean? But, just say I just don't have the bandwidth to be handling that right now. I literally saw that happen. I was in a I was in a store and it was actually two men speaking, and I think this guy was like kind of just getting this off his chest that he was going through a divorce. And the other guy that he was talking to was like, well, I'd love to stay and talk about that, but I gotta go pick my kid up. And he's like, I was already supposed to be there. You know what I mean? And this says down low, so I'm not insinuating that that's what that conversation was about, but, um, you know, maybe it's one of those things where it's like been kind of hidden, like maybe, there's somebody in the public, or maybe they have this perfect image of this and that. You know what I mean? That they want to like somehow uphold, you know? And the thing is, there's people that have been married for decades that decide all of a sudden one day to get divorced. I mean, that's their right as human beings. I mean, because there's plenty of us, like myself, who has never been married, and I've been in relationships, but I've never been married. So it's like, don't they deserve their single time? I don't know how it's supposed to work. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a balance for everybody. And I feel like some people are just, lucky in life and maybe they meet the right partner at the right time, you know? But anyway, so yeah. And this might be the thing where you say to them, maybe just let this one go and, try and make the next thing happen, you know. Oh my gosh, are you bored over here while I'm doing this reading? He's like letting out this big sigh. That's hilarious. Intuition, the red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. Yeah. So, yeah, they could be suffering in silence, but you don't want to suffer in silence along with them, especially if this is their problem. Right? So, don't ignore those red flags. Okay? If they have a lot on their plate, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just not the right time, you know, for them with anybody. Not saying that that's supposed to be you, but that's how, since they're coming to you and showing you their vulnerability, they think because they're being vulnerable, that means that to them is like a romance indicator. Okay. Um, but sometimes when people aren't that vulnerable anymore, then they don't, quote unquote, need you, right? And then it's like, oh, well, I mean, again, the Sex in the City, right? When she moves to France and she always wanted to go there and all this stuff. Well, the first day of the premiere where she's holding Baryshnikov's hand, right? And then, all his friends are applauding him, but they're applauding him because they approve of his artwork. And it was in that moment that he like drops her hand and like runs off to them. You know what I mean? Because he's so enamored with his peers approving of his, um, you know, conquest of the art world. Anyway, so distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. Yeah. So even though they were like together, they were in that moment like emotionally distant. And see, this was on the top of the stagnant card. So, he could have been using her, in a way, people be like, oh, she was just using him to get over there and blah, blah. Well, he was using her in a way, right? As a support crutch, okay? Because he was feeling like, his career was over and, you know what I mean? It's like, well, at least I have this cute girl on my arm, right? That kind of stuff. Manifest. Tell the universe exactly what you want. And not saying she's not a cute girl. You know what I mean? And hey, she went for it and took a chance. You know what I mean? And I thought that exchange for her so this is within the same episode. I think it's like a dual 2-part episode. Anyway, um when she has her argument with it about Miranda, who, of course, Miranda being the lawyer, she has, all the logic worked out, and she's trying to understand why Carrie's doing this, but Carrie tells her, she's like, well, I can't stay here and do the single thing just because you want me to, like I have to take my chance. And Carrie's like, you're throwing your life away. It's almost like a mother-child exchange, but there's people who will argue, well, the character of Carrie Bradshaw acts very childish to begin with. So, which I'm not saying that's not true as well in some moments, but sometimes it's like if you don't have that spirit of I can do anything and I can make this work and let's go for it, are you ever going to go for anything? So, like if she hadn't gone up, we wouldn't have had a 2-part episode. You know what I mean? It's like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Right? So, anyway, yeah, and look on the bottom here. So, is this Mercury retrograde? So, this could be the puzzled part. Maybe this is something where somebody's trying to communicate with you, but they can't. I don't know. Could be. In my opinion, people make communication way too complicated these days. So, because it's like we have more ways than ever, yet less like realistic communication coming through. Okay, I'm gonna use these little heart-shaped cards here. Okay, so again, this is for the June birthday people. Okay, so I'm not sure your relationship status. Obviously, it's a collective reading. It's not specific for any one person, but that is the intention today of the reading for the June birthdays. Anyway, so you have to just take what resonates. Not every message is going to apply. Okay. Well, at least he's not laying on my pillow anyway. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Yeah, no right. Okay, exactly. This is what I was just talking about with the Carrie situation. She's like, she had to, let go of New York for a minute and say, maybe I need to try something different. So that's the thing, about these people that get in this running energy. It's like some of them haven't figured out how to let go of that guilt, and it's like they're searching for the next thing instead of just accepting where they are. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so um let that be. However, okay, anyway, sexual union. Okay, honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. Okay, So again, this love affair card, like this person wanting. So, okay. So I am getting the message a little bit that for some of you, this could apply where you were actually married to this person and they want to come around and, have a good time, essentially. And, because they miss this. Yeah, well, when you're not married anymore, you don't get that, right? It's just so they might not be accepting the divorce well. Hopefully, you don't have to get a restraining order, but don't be afraid to get one. Look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. Okay, so your intuition here. All right. So, and this suffering in silence, and I mean, this could be something where, maybe you did go through this breakup and on your side, maybe, it's been more difficult than you thought. Maybe, you're the one that needs to seek out, some healing, okay? Or some extra healing, right? This could be done through self-care, through meditation, things of that nature. But definitely, I for some of you, your intuition is definitely trying to tell you something. I don't know what that is specifically, but it's, something for you. Twin flames, your passion ignites. This is on top the distance card. Also, now I'm kind of getting the message that for some of you, you could have a spiritual partner that is located at a distance from you. And especially if you're somebody who thought that your love life was stagnant, no, there's somebody who's like out there for you right now. Passion, a magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. Ooh. So maybe that's what you're manifesting. You're like, yeah, I'll be sipping on that. Please tell me more. Let's get to the juicy stuff, right? And see, again, that's what this person who, they be missing that, but guess what? Look at that. It even has on the bottom freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Yeah. So you don't answer to this person anymore. There's none of that. You know what I mean? So that could be the part where they didn't let go. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I think he's sleeping with his eyes part way open. It's kind of weird. Anyway, oops, I woke him up because I was talking about him. It's hard to ignore when you have a 100-pound dog laying like 2 feet from you. Oh my goodness. But at least they're being quiet right now. Maybe I should do all my readings late at night. But there was somebody that just popped off fireworks somewhere, and that was like right at midnight. And so, of course, the dogs were going off. So, like, what the heck? It's only June 1st. It's not even like July 4th fireworks season yet, y'all. Oh my god. Okay. These are the angel and the archangel and God Goddess cards. Okay. So, embodying the divine feminine and masculine energies. Okay. So again, for the June birthdays. So again, yeah, I should say again with this freedom card. So for you, it's like the divorce has been finalized, like the paperwork's done. Like it's you know what I mean? Like we're gonna put that right there and say, that's a done deal. Okay, that ain't going nowhere, right? Look at that, Archangel Michael. And I was maybe that's what I was praying earlier. Okay, we got clarity, truth, and protection. So say your prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel. And, hey, I think it works. I'm just saying. Archangel Raziel. Okay, mysterious secrets and Protected knowledge. Okay. So, again, you may have shared something very special with this person, but now it's like you're not going backwards, whereas they're reminiscing, okay? And you kind of need to protect yourself from their reminiscing, okay? Because they're going to want to try and pull on your heartstrings or do stupid stuff, right? But that's part of the letting go also, okay? So the sooner you're able to do that, however you're able to do that, the better. you know get some hobbies, join a gym. And you'll be like, well, I work out at home. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to keep yourself occupied, because if you get stuck in that trap of reminiscing, then it becomes that suffering in silence. And then you're going to be like what they're doing. And you don't want to be like that. Okay, yeah. St. Dymphna, mental health, well-being support. Okay, so again, um, maybe it's more, you need some. Maybe you don't want to go to like a psychologist. Maybe you want like a spiritual counselor. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of health coaches out there and all types of things. Maybe you need to get your vitamins checked. You know what I mean? That can help your mental health in the long run. Are you deficient in this? Are you getting enough that? Okay. St. Francis. We have service, activism, and animal communication. Okay. So this St. Francis could be kind of protecting this type of union here, this twin flame union that you may be at a distance with right now. Okay. That's interesting. So that's interesting for the June birthdays. Okay. Archangel Christiel, higher consciousness, Christ light, and light. So representing the joys of life, the fun. It's sometimes we get so trapped in these healing ways or immersing ourselves in work or whatever, that we forget to kind of enjoy the glowing energy, when we're so immersed in the dark, as it seems. Okay. So if you are able to think of yourself in that higher consciousness, you'll become it, right? Like, where other people want you to be stuck where they were with you, but you're not there anymore. So it's it's like a mental release. Okay. Sekhmet, fierceness, destruction, and rebuilding. Whew. Pretty fierce, and she has like the glowing sun behind her. So for some of you, you might be needing your rest so that you can meet the day with this kind of fierceness, right? But know that when you do that, you're going to have that power behind you. Looks like there's a cobra behind her head, and then she's wearing the Eye of Ra also. Okay. So again, that's Leo energy there, which I did some recent readings. Leo popped up. Okay. So the numbers on the cards as well, for those who are interested in numerology and those types of things. Archangel Michael here is 1, Raziel is 12, St. Dymphna in this deck is 21, St. Francis is 22, Christiel is 15, and Sekhmet, I think is how you say it, is 36. Okay. So yeah, don't be puzzled. It's only Mercury retrograde. Right. Look at that intimacy on the bottom. Yeah, this person is definitely thinking about, it's not just you. It's not just they're trapped in this cycle of saying, oh my God, I screwed this up. Yeah, well, You ever see that Superman where the bad guys get trapped in the mirror? That's like what's happened. It's like they have to live with that. Oh, well, they thought it would be cool to, be Mr. Slick. Well, now they know what that actually looks like. Or, Ms. Thang, whatever in your situation. So, for a lot of you, I would say, you probably definitely made the right choice. Okay. But the thing is, it's okay to open yourself up to the next round. Okay. And even since you have this twin flame thing that came out here, because some people will be like, oh, you have to wait a certain amount of time. No, you don't. We don't understand. That would be us assuming we understand every single of God's plan. And that would be pretty foolish. Okay? So you gotta trust, in your archangels. You gotta say, okay, I know Archangel Michael's gonna have my back in this situation. And yeah, I don't know what this person's running on. They're running on Jackson Brown, running on empty. You know what I mean? And it's time to let that go. And yeah, make room for, I don't know. Maybe there's a Archangel Michael biker dude that looks like this in your town. I don't know. You know what I mean? Kind of looks bikerish a little bit to me. Um, you know. So when you tap into the good stuff, it's like it starts to grow, right? Versus if you pick at the negative things. Cuz it's like you can continue to do that, but at a certain point it's like, well, you could have started seeding already. So it's up to you how long you want to wait. you know um so think about this for this Mercury retrograde, where it's not necessarily asking, or the past pulling you back, but asking you to look at the past differently, without the blame, without the judgment on yourself. Okay. So, and actually being able to start fresh and anew. It's wiping the slate clean and saying, okay, we're on to the next lesson, because we've learned what we needed to learn. We're not saying it didn't happen. We're just saying we learned what we needed to learn. And that's not to say you can't continue getting support however you need it, right? But as you heal through that, you're going to be experiencing different things. So open yourself up to the different things. You know what I'm saying there? Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. So see if you guys' names are on the cyclone list, right? Hopefully not. Although that's just the nature of the beast, right? So, check those weather charts, folks. Check your charts. And no, that was not necessarily directed to be a musical pun, but you could take it that way if you wish. So, with that, I am closing out this reading. Yabba dabba doo, okay? So happy birthday to you, June birthdays. I blew out your birthday candle for you. Sorry. You're going to have to get your own. We haven't figured that out yet on the interwebs. Okay. That might be a little hazardous. You know what I mean? So, anyway. Happy birthday to all the people celebrating their birthdays in June, okay? Especially the Geminis, okay? And then towards the end of the month, the Cancers. Yes, yes, the crab. The crab. Okay. Yeah. So that's all we have for today. Remember, if you were in the chat today, please do like the video. Thank you to those who have already liked the video. Remember, you don't have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, though. So, but if you do, it sure helps. Okay. But of course, you can subscribe if you feel like it. Pretty flexible around here. Okay. This dog is gonna have to move when I take my bed back here. He's like laying a little horizontally for me. Okay. Then he's gonna be growling at me. I'm like, Rrr. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.